there, I'm Ana Lara, also known as That Wonder Chick, and today I'm very happy to welcome you all to this podcast where I wander around the world, wondering about wonder, and then I wonder some more and talk about it. Hey there, I am so excited to be here with you today. Whether you're listening from your work, or while you drive, or while you stare at the sky, wherever you're at this moment and just listening to us, I'm so happy that you're bumping into this podcast. We're just happy to share the world where you are, and hopefully we want to engage with you and open up a space where different perspectives of travel can emerge. So we have a lot of things coming your way, but first I want to take a brief moment to explain the idea behind the Wander and Wonder podcast. So the Wander and Wonder podcast started thanks to this really cool platform called Impa This platform was a project that developed over time. Firstly, it was called Nostos, and then Bitácora, and then Impetu, and then Impa Hub, and then Impa Hub Travel, and now it is what it is. So it's just the next step of an evolving process of many people collaborating and just wanting to expand the world where we live through travel, basically. So Impetu Hub comes from the word impetus. Of course, you know the word, but basically we want to think as the word of like the force that the projectile has to launch. So that's exactly what this platform wants to develop. We want to launch ideas with great force. So Impetu Hub is a collaborative platform curated basically by me, where people from all over the world share their reflections on travel. So the good thing about collaborating with people from all over the world is that we continuously bring to this space different perspectives, and that's what we want to create. We want to get out of the conventional travel path, and but not in a commercialized way, more in a way of creating a place to discuss and to understand where we are regarding travel. So this is not a conventional travel blog or travel podcast. We want to share ideas and experiences that will make you reflect on your travels and where you sit in the tourism industry. So how did this all started? It started basically in my hometown, a beautiful place called Tepoztlán. And growing up in this town, it's super touristy. I could see the development of the town and the impacts that the tourism industry had upon the town, not only in the rapid urbanization, but also in the landscape, the economy, and the identity. So it became such a passion for me that I started to study and research about it. My background is in anthropology, and then I focus on tourism research. And I was sort of doomed to ask the critical questions when I travel. The questions everybody asks, but hardly reflects on. So I started to see the importance of actually reflecting when you travel. And it's not only about having the coolest pics on your Instagram account or going back home with a book full of pictures that you can share with your family. It's more about understanding where we are, because tourism can be massive and could be good, but it could also be kind of a destructive industry. So I wanted to understand, for example, why people would call themselves travelers instead of tourists, the motives behind traveling, the authenticity in travel experiences, the emotions and experiences of these incredible landscapes that we have all over the world, or adventures somewhere far when you're traveling. So that's the way this journey began. First, I started to write about it, and you can find some of the pieces that I've written at the webpage www.impatuhub.com. And then I've started to take these reflections while I traveled. So I interview people from everywhere about topics that might challenge the way you think and see your holidays, might make you a tourist, for example, instead of being a traveler, or might get you to wonder a bit further, wondering about wonder. That's the whole idea and intention of this podcast, and obviously about the blog. So in the next episodes, you will find discussions with people from, I don't know, Chile, Colombia, Germany, Australia, from pretty much all over the place. We'll be discussing hot topics like elephant riding, volunteer tourism, drug use and travel, spiritual experiences, and more. And we will also be discussing traveling cliches, literature, movies, and even suggest a few other resources if you're interested in getting more in depth with these topics. So the main idea is to create a space where travelers, tourists, wanderers, whatever you think and you can identify it as, can share reflections, ideas, thoughts, but also by sharing, we want to make people care about their role in the tourism industry. So we want to sort of promote a more thoughtful travel around the world. So just a bit of a disclaimer, this is not a podcast about the wonderful experiences of traveling. It's more about there are two sides of the same coin kind of thing, when you travel. And we want you to know about it, the pros and cons, and then you can go and experience it, and then you can come back and tell us all about it. Or you can tell us while you're traveling. That would be even better. But it's not all gloomy, and we won't keep you from getting more stamps in your passport. So as I said before, go experience it and tell us about it. We want to hear your experiences. We want to invite you to connect with other people, make friends and close the gap, make the borders flexible, enjoy the wonderful, wonderful marvels that we have in this beautiful world, and experiences and landscapes and, ideas and, projects. Who knows? So please go ahead and get in touch if you're interested in collaborating. Maybe you want to be in this podcast with an interview, or if you want to get creative and write and photoshoot or video or even draw about your travels, just send us a message. We're all here to share, connect, and reflect by any means possible. So don't let your travel get stuck in that Instagram story. There are so many other ways to share your trips, and we're eager to experience them with you. So now that I've given you a little bit more of the insights and the basics on this podcast, I want you to know a little bit about me, your host, and also know a little bit more about the great collaborators that have made this podcast possible. So my name is Anna, as I said before. I normally write under the synonym That Wonder Chick. I'm not gonna delve into that, but you can find my pieces and the stuff that I've written on the webpage www.impahub.com. I am Mexican. I'm also a little bit Belgian. I'm an anthropologist and currently living in Melbourne, Australia. So I've been researching tourism throughout the years academically, and my focus has been in identity, authenticity, and cultural heritage. I've also worked in the travel industry as a copywriter and marketing specialist, and at the moment I'm researching the underground intangible features, doing my PhD. It's a bit weird, but I'll let you know how it goes in a few years. So as you can see, I'm all over the place. I've also lived in a few countries around the world and met amazing people. Some of them you will get to know in the next episodes. And even though I'm very skeptical about the tourism industry and development, I just can't stop traveling. I can't. It sort of has become part of who I am. So as I said before, I write under the name That Wonder Chick, and you can find all my work in the platform. Also there in the platform, you will find a lot of projects that have been done all over the world. So we've interviewed backpackers, we traveled to India and took pictures, we have made videos of the Caribbean, essays about love for traveling, reflections and critics about traveling experiences that questions, for example, if you should go volunteering or not, or if you should, go on a safari or not. Questions on how, for example, it feels to migrate and how to cope when, being far away from home when something terrible happens. All of that and more, we have so much stuff in there. So have a look around, browse, and feel free to comment and just share and, do all of that subscribing thing situation. We are, or yeah, we're very, very grateful for all of our collaborators. People are doing and sharing their work from Haiti, Vietnam, Australia, Mexico, England, a lot of people from all over the world. And I just want to mention a special thanks, especially to Lucas Dialkevich and Louis Coleman for creating the amazing music for this podcast. So you can find Lucas' work on his Instagram at Lucas Dialkevich. He's a sound creative, watercolor painter, and the creator of the Composer comic. And Louis Coleman, he is the lead guitarist of the Melbourne-based band called The Cactus Channel. And you can hear his music on your Spotify. Super easy. Follow them. They are amazing. The cover of the season's podcast were created by the amazing Veronica Rinaldi. So thank you so much for all the work you guys have done. It's amazing. I'm very happy and very grateful. I also want to say that the collaborators that I invite every episode, they come from different backgrounds, different experiences, different expertise. So what we want to do is open up a space where you can actually think about both sides of a situation while you're traveling. So this is how we think this podcast is valuable, and it could be good for anybody who has questions or who wants to know a bit more or who just wants to travel with us in a way. So you can find the work and connect with the collaborators on the webpage at impahub.com. And remember, if you want to collaborate with us, don't hesitate to reach out and send us a message through our social media handles. You can find me at That Wonder Chick Facebook page and also the Instagram page. Super easy. This podcast will also be running in seasons. So expect one episode monthly while we get this going. But we're looking forward to making it more sustainable. So help us out by subscribing on whatever media you're on listening at this very moment. Just, go click subscribe and that's it. And then you will have all the episodes right there for you to listen. And it's super easy and it's amazing. And you can be like driving and just going to work, and you can be working even and just like listening to me, another person, just talking about stuff about travel. Isn't that amazing? You will love it. So sorry, sometimes I can just talk, but believe me, this is a good project that you're gonna enjoy. So another thing that I wanted to say, you might hear a lot of technical issues. Because this podcast started very amateurly by me, so my editing's still kind of a rough diamond. And also be aware that some of the interviews are recorded while on the trip. So environment sounds will be part of basically your experience listening to us. And lastly, you will be sort of enriching your Spanglish vocabulary. As I'm not an English native speaker, I sometimes sound a bit odd. But hey, just imagine you're on traveling, and then the accents that you'll hear are part of the adventure. So I think I've said it all. Oh, one last disclaimer. All the content in this podcast are owned by the collaborators and myself. And we know that we don't necessarily have the truth in everything that we say. We just want to offer another perspective. So don't feel like we're saying the absolute truth. We do tend to fall into, the hard data to make sure that you have the overall good information. But I just wanted to say this is all about different perspectives. So we do encourage criticism, but, constructive criticism and just, good comments that will make this podcast better. So go ahead and comment. And if you want to collaborate, as I said before, please contact us. We would love to get more people on board. That's what this is all about. So, okay, I think I've said it all. Welcome, and we hope you enjoy wandering with us.